So I've been on Arch Linux for about a week now. Let's find out how I feel about it. Good morning everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about my experience of switching to Arch. I would have switched last Thursday, so I think that was the 24th or something like that. I'm not exactly sure on the exact date. So as you know, I switched directly from Windows 10, which was a experience because now I'm on i3, which is a very, very different experience from what I'm used to. So Windows 10, obviously, it's a very mouse-driven operating system, but when you switch to something like i3, you end up using the keyboard to move around a lot, and that actually brings me to the first thing I want to complain about. What is up with 3's default bindings? When you switch between screens, for some reason, the up and down and the left and right, they use Vim keys, but they're bound backwards. So the up and down keys are left and right keys, the left and right keys the up and down keys. I'm not exactly sure what the reason for that is. It's an easy fix. I just go into my i3 config and change it. But it was throwing me off at the start. So what else? I had a test script in like my scripts folder. Had scripts folder in my path variable. Was wondering why it wasn't working. It's because I had named it test. So it would be basically like naming something ls and wondering why it's not working. There was already a script with that name and it was just... And the thing is test. If you don't know, test is aliased in a shell script to the two square brackets. So what it was actually doing was just testing what was there, and there was nothing there, so it didn't do anything. But once I got that sorted out, I've got some scripts running now that work fine. My cron jobs don't seem to be working properly, but that might just be because I've got the path set up wrong, because some of them are running, but my RSS feed isn't updating properly. So I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but I'll work that out at some point. This is actually a very important one. So I've actually got some notes here. This is some Symphogear stuff. Can I even see the notes? Let's find out. Yeah. Anyway, I don't usually have notes, but it makes it easier for something like this. So yeah, i3 feels, well, just Arch in general just feels way faster than Windows 10, probably because there's far less processes actually running. I actually know what I'm running for the most part. There's a lot of daemons running in the background, but nothing as ridiculous as Windows 10 had, where you just have all these processes doing random things. Some of them look like viruses, but you know they're not. You Google them, and it's just like, this is some random Intel thing, or this is a Microsoft thing. But it actually is faster, because I ran OpenShot. I was getting, I think, 3 frames per second more when I was rendering, so I don't know if it's just OpenShot being better optimized on Linux, or if it actually is faster. But yeah, I feel like it probably is. It feels snappier at least. Something that was definitely weird early on was having to configure everything myself, because at the start, your audio is... I don't know if it's muted or if you just don't have audio. So I ended up installing Ulcer and using the Ulcer audio mixer for that. I've switched over to the command line tool, whatever that's called. I don't remember. Ulcer CLI, Ulcer Sound Mixer, something like that. And now I've just got my sound controls bound to hotkeys. One thing I do need to fix though is that when I shut down my audio, I like having my master volume at max and then just controlling it with the headphone volume or these other volume sliders. But my master keeps going back down to the default, which is, I think, 50 or something. So I end up having to play around with that every time I reboot my system, but that I can just chuck in my Xinit RC or my i3. No, actually, probably shouldn't put in the i3 config, because then when I reset my i3, then that'll change. Maybe my profile or something, but I don't know. Xinit RC would probably work. So right now for the status bar, I'm just running i3 status. I'm probably going to switch over to blocks. Yeah, I'm not sure how to... Well, I know how to configure i3 status, I just don't want to do it. Blocks looks way easier, and yeah, it looks nicer, so switch over to blocks. I haven't done that yet. I've got some other stuff I want to set up first. One other thing was my wallpaper. I wasn't sure how to set that up, but I've got just with Ranger, I've got a binding for calling fair, and then I've got my wallpaper being copied into a config folder, and whenever my system boots, I just run fair bg whatever the command is to set the wallpaper, and it just pulls it straight from the config file. So if I move the picture from my pictures folder, it'll still set the wallpaper, which is actually nice. So right now I've got this TV here for my second monitor. I don't use it normally, but for when I want to lay in my bed and watch some anime or just chill, I guess. But the problem is that TVs like to overscan. So to fix that, I'll talk about this more in my ricing video probably, but I had to basically tell the screen that it's actually DVI. You can force DVI with Xrandr, which is nice, and then it just worked. Didn't have audio, because DVI I don't think supports audio, or maybe it's just that you can't convert the signals properly. Either way, I have working video and I use a soundbar anyway, so it's not a problem. So for my file managers, I'm actually using a combination of Ranger and Thunar. The reason I'm not exclusively using Ranger, there's actually two reasons. One of Thunar's dependencies will auto mount USB drives for me, which is nice, and I don't have to think about it then. I might change the directory to get mounted to, just so it's easier to get to them, because right now they're in the Etsy folder, which is a weird spot to put them. I don't know why it's there. So yeah, but I'm not using Ranger exclusively as well, because with Android mounting, Ranger seems to have a serious problem with loading from slow devices, because I'll go into it and then it just, because it tries to render a preview for everything, but Thunar being a traditional Windows style file browser, you can just scroll to the bottom and not have to worry about previews. I think you can set previews on, but I don't know. Some of the things already have previews, some don't, so I'm not sure what the deal with that is. But when I connect my phone, I just can't use Ranger for it. I've tried and it dies. But I've got some bindings in Ranger to make jumping around a lot easier. I'll talk about those properly in the video I'll cover Ranger in. One last thing is, you start off with not having, actually there's probably a couple other last things. This really bothered me, so I had to set up Arch quickly so I could have a dev environment for work the next day. And I didn't realize that I wasn't going to have my Git branch in my bash prompt, which was really annoying, so I had to really quickly fix that so I could actually see what branch I'm on. I can run git status, or I've got it alias GST, but that's annoying and I don't want to have to do that. I want to just be able to see what branch I'm on. It makes it far easier. So, yeah, as I mentioned, there will be a later ricing video where I cover my i3 configs and maybe some other stuff. Maybe what your XVT looks like right now. I probably got really close to my face. Yeah, definitely. You get to see too many of my pores. Actually, no, the camera quality is too low to be able to see that. So I've also got what was it, OBS setup, but my webcam records like 15 frames per second. I don't think it's a problem with OBS or Arch. I think that's actually what my webcam was like. I kind of recall it doing the same thing on Windows. So I'll probably pick up something like a C920, because everyone runs C920. Maybe get myself like a Blue Yeti at some point. The mic isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it's still not great. The webcam's also not great, but yeah, it's only a little thing in the corner, so I guess I actually just not have it on. That's also an option. So yeah, the next video I've got planned, this one should be coming out on Friday, or not this video itself. This will be out on Thursday. I've got a video coming out on Friday which will be about setting up a macOS VM in VirtualBox, because I've got a course this semester where I'm doing iOS development, and it's Swift 4, luckily, because I couldn't get a Mojave install working, but I managed to get High Sierra working, so yeah, keep an eye out for that one if you have any interest in installing High Sierra. I don't know why you would. But I think that's pretty much it. So if you like the video, remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon below if you want to see more from my channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I'm out.